Hey everybody, welcome to another Game Informer E3 2021 recap video. Of course, watch along live with us over at twitch.tv/Game Informer during all of the event's press conferences. Today, we watched the Summer Game Fest reveal, the live kickoff, and we'll be going through a whole recap later in the video. But for now, we're going to be talking about the biggest game that we saw. Finally, Elden Ring. We've got a trailer, gameplay, and it's coming, January 21st, 2022. It's very close. So we are joined by Alex Stadnick, my fellow co-host. Hello.
Hello.
My E3 partner in crime. And of course, our resident Souls expert here at Game Informer, Mr. Dan Tack. How you doing, Dan?
I don't know. Expert might be a little much. I mean, I played a few of them.
Enthusiast. How about that?
Expert's fine. Yeah, it's great to be here, just visiting.
Yes, you're currently on vacation, but
hey,
you're eager to talk
Ring.
Elden Ring. Yeah, right.
There's no vacation when Elden Ring is around, my friend.
Facts. Yeah.
So Dan, tell us about it all. What were your thoughts as you're watching it?
So some of the stuff that was in the leaks was in this. Obviously presented much better here. I can't, so shockingly, things look a lot better when they're not, captured on a crummy little phone that looks like it was. Yeah, in a shoe, essentially. Yeah. Some really incredible stuff here. So on the surface, what we saw here, let's break down the big beats. PvP or summoning friends, that looks like it's in. We saw blue phantoms summoned at one point. So that indicates that the systems and souls that you use to call your friends in to fight bosses or to fight other players may probably be in. Well, obviously, we don't know for sure, but based on the trailer, looks very likely that those systems will be in.
Yep.
The instant mounting, calling your mount anywhere. That's what whistle, boom, spectral mount. Ride it all over the place. Ride it up mountainsides. Whatever you want. That kind of traversal has never been in Souls games. Now, Souls games are very pretty, but they are essentially just like a series of corridors connected to each other. It obviously looks a lot more impressive than that, but when you break it down, it is just a bunch of hallways in a lot of ways. Yeah. And the amount of just open world traversal that we saw in that trailer is unprecedented and really cool. That said, tons of Souls stuff is here. Tons of Souls style, tons of Souls feeling. Even so the lead player is no longer an Ashen one. They are a Tarnished one. Whatever. Ooh. Same thing. Yeah. I mean, seriously, it is. But this could be, I have very strong sense that this could be like, the ultimate Souls game as we know it at this point, based on a trailer, obviously. Hey, get hype. Yeah. But everything there seems like, taking Souls and then giving it more layers. We may have seen some sort of like, with that caravan that's being hauled by those giants, that may be an open world event that could happen at various places. Normally with Souls, everything is very scripted. This dude's always here. That dude's always there. Obviously there's some exceptions to that, but I'm not going to get into world tendencies like that.
Yeah,
right, right. Hey, I just don't. Somebody's going to call me. I'll be like, no, Dad. That's kind of like that kind of variety in exploration is another new facet that seems to be strongly indicated. Another kind of, I don't even know if they were attempting to do this, sort of an in-joke with this trailer. The dragon seemed to be wielding lightning, so canonically in Souls, the dragons fear lightning, and that's what was used to destroy them in the original Dark Souls. That was their weakness.
Dang. Okay.
That was their big weak element. So to see a dragon use lightning is like, hey, this ain't Souls anymore. Obviously, tons of stuff we saw was extremely Souls-like. Right down to like, the combat looked Souls. That's by the way, I'm not using this as a bad thing. There's there are people out there who are like, oh, we don't want more Souls. Yes, we do. we want way more Souls.
Yeah.
And with these added open world elements, I mean, it looks really incredible. Obviously, trailers are going to show off the most impressive stuff and give us a taste. And I know that at From, they really do not like throwing out spoilers, so which is why we got a very disjointed, disconnected trailer. We probably saw a ton of bosses in there. That one that did the big curse impale move, very reminiscent of several other Souls bosses throughout the years. From Demons or Dark Souls 2 with the Pursuer. Like I said, tons of Souls flavor, giant hand thing moving, weird guy with fire coming out of it. These are all very From Software things that look really cool, and it looks absolutely delicious. I can't wait to play. And guess what? In a mere 6 months or so, we're there, baby.
That is the part that blew me away. I mean, aside from the gorgeous trailer, which gave me like in terms of like its aesthetics. I was like, man, this is just like seeing them ride on the horseback across this land. I was like, I'm getting like Shadow of the Colossus like vibes, especially with some of like the more some of the landscapes they like road past. I was like, geez, this is absolutely gorgeous. But yeah, so January it's coming out. I'm guessing that surprises you, Dan, right? Like at least for me, I thought
Actually,
it was going to be
not
farther
really.
off.
I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be sooner, actually. So.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh, okay.
But let them
Fair
take
enough.
the extra time. I mean, this one's been in the cooker for a long time.
True.
And this was being tinkered. This was pre-COVID. Obviously, COVID changed everything for everybody everywhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, this timeline, hey, great for me. Sounds great. Kick off the new year with a sweet new game. Hopefully. Obviously, my expectations are sky high at this point. Like you said, that open world stuff, there are going to be naysayers who are going to be out there saying, oh, it's just Dark Souls 4. If you look at the elements that displayed in the trailer, obviously they're showcasing it, so this is going to be big. These open world elements and stuff like that is completely unlike Souls, and I imagine that was probably the hardest part of putting this thing together. I'm sure we'll get a bigger look at it down the line, but yeah, that's going to be amazing. As you said, Shadow of the Colossus vibes, big weird thing with a bell on it walking around.
Yeah.
That's cool, right?
Yeah.
Bringing that From Software weirdness into an open world environment with giant bosses. I mean, there's always secret bosses and stuff to find in Souls that'll challenge you. In this game, hey, maybe you're just wandering around and some giant boss wanders into your field of view. Do you take him on? Yeah, you do, of course. And you get killed. What happens then? Who knows? We're gonna find out.
I'm curious how like an open world format affects even just like the difficulty of the games. Typically, like you said, these corridors, if you need to get past this guy, you have to know how to do it before you can move on. I wonder like how an open world would change that. I don't know. Like,
so we have some kind of, we can speculate a little bit that since this is sort of a, apparently, based on the trailers, we're going to, as always, the world is in darkness and we must go restore try to restore the world from and instead of being tarnished, right? So I'm guessing there are big lords of each section. My guess, again, high speculation, is the open world part is going to be truly open world, but there's going to be non-open world segments that you can go into that are going to be more like the Mega Man style levels where they're going to be more curated and they're going to have a set boss and stuff like that. But anything that happens in the big zone is fair game, and that's where you're going to be, getting stronger and finding stuff to help you take on the tarnished lords. Again, speculation, but I got a pretty good handle on these games, so I think we're probably in the right ballpark.
You are the expert for a reason. I am curious, just going off that trailer, like we said, and I may show my ass a little bit here, but did you get a vibe either way if this is because some of the speculation with George R.R. Martin's reappearance, good lord, with this is that it was going to be not necessarily a more streamlined narrative, but a little bit more classical narrative elements. Did you get a vibe on that either way?
No.
You thought this was going to be
that might happen. I think with Sekiro they had a very clear narrative. Whether or not you liked it is up to you, but it was very cut and dry. I think this is. I mean, everything about that trailer screamed old school Dark Souls storytelling. So
ambiguity.
So, although Martin may have created the world to play in, we don't yet know the extent of the story being direct in your face, or some more of the environmental storytelling and sort of digging that you would do in a Souls game to get the advanced tales behind each character and everything. We don't really know where that's going to be yet. But from the trailer, I get the sense that we're going to be. It's there for people who want it, and it's going to be told through the story. There were some striking locations in this that bear resemblance to other Souls locations. Again, I'm sure people picked up on this. The Boreal Valley in Irithyll, there's a very striking location in Dark Souls 3, probably the coolest looking one outside of Anor Londo, depending on how you take it. But there's this cool little Ice City. You can see that architecture in one of the places they did, and there's even some Bloodborne vibes in there, right? This is the big amalgamation, and From always builds on what they've got, right? They take what they've done, they build upon it, and just vibes from all kinds of their different past games in this with a giant new feel on top. So expectations are very high on this one
for sure.
For me too. I'm me. I'm not the biggest Dark Souls fan. I respect the games and I have enjoyed what I played, but I've never taken the dive until Sekiro probably. I played a lot of that game, but one of the things I'm actually excited for is not necessarily the Dark Souls angle, but having an open I feel like we're going to get a stripped down open world game that is free of I hope it's free of the BS of, go and free this encampment. Go and,
Oh, dude, to see that kind of stuff, and believe me, no, From Software fans are not going to put up with. There's a tower up there. You got to go save for 20 gold.
And
that's
what I'm excited for.
That is not going to happen.
That's a good call out, though.
If it does, I will take a bite out of this hat. All right.
Fair enough.
We'll cook it for you.
But that's why I'm excited, because I enjoy certain open world games. Breath of the Wild, one of my favorite games of all time.
Sure.
But a lot of the more modern design tropes that you see in open world games usually like put me off. So I'm excited to see more of what I would assume will be a more refined and thoughtful open world, if that makes sense.
It'll be an open world, but with all of the From Software design philosophy. You will not have you have to go beat headquarters, which is 3-star difficulty, to retrieve 3 bags of oil.
Yeah.
None of this will be in there, I assure you. Again, I would be completely blown away in a horrible way if that was the case, and that won't be the case. All right.
We'll save that hat just in case, but I think you're right.
Gents, anything else we want to cover before me and Alex head into the summer game recap?
I think that's a beautiful summary. Your comment there just made me like another level excited though about because I'm sick of open world checklists at times. So bring it on. I've never finished a Souls game, but why not start? Why not start with Elden Ring? So.
Well, if you were just joining us for the Elden Ring reactions, thank you for watching. Be sure to watch along all of our E3 coverage with us over at twitch.tv/Game Informer, as well as GameInformer.com/E3. If you're sticking around for the Summer Game Fest recap, we will be right back. And those were our Elden Ring reactions. Thank you to Dan Tack for joining us. He's actually on vacation, and he came and joined us for a quick video talking about everything we saw. So thanks, Dan, for taking some time out of your week of relaxation to come talk some Elden Ring with us. Now, Alex, let's get into the Summer Game Fest recap. This isn't going to be, we aren't going to cover every single announcement. We're going to cover the highlights. So if that's what you're looking for, you're in the right place. The show kicked off very strong. We had a tease. It was, it was like, oh, is this Borderlands? What is this? I know that art style. And then we got hit with Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, a new game set in the IP in the universe of Borderlands. So this is not a full-on Borderlands game. It is Tiny Tina, a new cast. I don't remember everybody. There's Wanda Sykes
and Andy Samberg.
Bill Arnett. Ashley
Will Arnett,
Birch. Will Arnett.
It could be Bill, right?
That's his given name, Billiam. Yeah. Ashley Birch reprising her role as Tiny Tina. Pretty huge cast. And this is kind of, if you were a fan of the DLC back in Borderlands 2, the Tiny Tina DLC, this is a fully fleshed out, fantasy game based on that premise. So we don't know a ton other than that right now. Is that correct, Alex? It was just kind of like a teaser. They brought Ashley Birch on stage.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, as that's about as much as we know. They went as far as to say that this is not a Borderlands game, very line in the sand. Yeah. I'm curious to know more. Gearbox has an event, so I think we'll probably learn more. I know Ashley said in the video, right, that we'd hear more later this summer. I guess technically the next couple of days are later this summer, right?
I think she was just choosing her words wisely. She didn't want to reveal anything
for sure.
She wasn't supposed to. I would. Sure. You can't have a Gearbox presentation and not talk about your new Tiny Tina game. So
yeah, I love the idea that DLC was great. I don't think I ever beat it. I think this frees them up from maybe the pillars of Borderlands that some people find grating. Tiny Tina is Tiny Tina. She's going to be crazy, rambunctious, the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
But maybe find a different humor vein in that. Maybe I was excited to hear about the powers and whatnot. I kind of bear with me here, but I got is this going to be kind of like BioShock with a ton of procedurally generated weapons, right? Because of the magic abilities, are you going to be shooting people and then throw lightning out of your hands and
procedurally generated like Borderlands? That'd be wild.
The weapon, the weaponry and stuff like that.
You said BioShock for a second. I was flashing back. I was like.
Yeah. What are you
Would you kindly about? I'm like, I don't think there was procedural weapons in that. No,
but in the powers that they use, right?
For
first
sure.
person powers, lightning fire, the whole shebang. So
yeah, I dig that, dude. That would be sick. And
I'm with it.
I'm all about it. Give me more. Give me a release date. I'm guessing that'll be 2022, at least 2022
For sure.
at the earliest, I think. Up next was a massive surprise. Metal Slug Tactics, the folks who are remaking, I believe TMNT Dotemu, they are making a Metal Slug game, but it's an isometric tactics game. So Metal Slug 3 is one of my favorite games ever, like top 50 games for me. Massive nostalgia for that series. It is tough as nails, so I'm sure in an isometric grid-based environment, it's going to be just as tough as that genre typically is. So, do you have any affinity for Metal Slug, or am I alone here?
Oh no, I definitely would play it because it was an old arcade game, right?
Yep.
Whatever GameCube collections it was in or PC, I definitely dabbled in it, never beat it.
You can even play it on the Switch, honestly.
Oh yeah,
it's in when the Switch first came out. They had that SNK collection and randomly dropped a bunch of SNK games. And if people are curious, you can go and play that on the Switch on the eShop. So,
but it kind of makes sense, right? I don't know why, in what world, right? But looking at it, I was like, this makes sense in a way that the industry is kind of shifting some of its focus to these more tactical, more mainstream, right? Tactics has always been a thing for a while, right? But we had Gears Tactics, we had Mario Kingdom Battle. This isn't necessarily the height of those, but it just, with that pixel art style, it looks great. It fits with that world, and I'm very excited to see more. I think they only said PCs, so that dampens my excitement a little bit. But as someone who's joining the tactics realm and having fun with them, it definitely caught my interest for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Up next, we had an update from Hideo Kojima, essentially announcing Death Stranding director's cut. They had a tease where he was pretending to get into a box, and it was a big gotcha moment by Kojima. It's the director's cut of Death Stranding. He also mentioned he is adjusting his creative process. He always likes to put societal elements into his games, and you can kind of see that in Death Stranding. And so I wasn't sure if he was alluding to the pandemic, but he was kind of talking about changing up the ways that he's creating. So it was not really an announcement of anything, really.
No, but this is, to me, let's armchair quarterback for this for a second. Let's totally speculate. We know nothing outside of what we saw today. He talked a lot about how his focus had shifted and he's more interested in fun and entertainment, right?
Mm-hmm.
To me, that means okay, maybe don't expect his horror game, right? Because if he's focusing on something more entertaining and fun to the masses, that's not Silent Hills, as much as there's a ton of people who want that game. It struck me as odd, and it felt like maybe his horror game is coming, whatever's rumored for that.
Maybe that's the fun he was talking about. I don't know.
yeah, it could be, but I don't know. That conversation struck me as don't just expect what's come from me before. I'm feeling like a new person. My creative process is different, and that's going to change the work that we do. And another indication from that for me was whatever he has, we're not going to see it for years.
A while.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I was kind of I don't know why. I was thinking what would he even he makes these massive cinematic games. What if he just flips the table and is making some little arcade I don't know, something like Suda 51, who's another auteur, and he's known for his wacky games. Kojima's known for his super dark games. What if he just you know what, we're gonna make some crazy taxi game but with strand elements. I don't know.
You never know.
I'm very curious.
For sure.
But yeah, so that was the Hideo Kojima update, the Hideo Minute, as we called it. Up next, Jurassic World Evolution 2 was announced. Gonna skip over that one. If you're a fan of that, go check it out. Jeff Goldblum was being weird, as always, to introduce it. Huge for me. There was a concert with Japanese Breakfast, and they were showed off new Sable gameplay. Sable is that open world game that is coming very soon,
September 23rd.
Yeah, that is one of my highlights of the show for sure. If you aren't familiar, Sable, this gorgeous, line art adventure. I don't know much about it. It's been they've been kind of mysterious about the development of this game since it was first shown off. We've kind of gotten glimpses here and there. But there is a demo coming next week, I believe, as part of the ID at Xbox event. I could be wrong, but is that right,
I'm
Alex?
trying to confirm that right now, but I think that's what they said. Yeah. Yes, it'll be free demo will be exclusively on Xbox.
Perfect.
Starting this week, because they did the demo fest last year. They're going to do it again this year. Which there's another demo on that we can talk about in a second. But very, very excited. Perfect.
We got to look at season 4 of Call of Duty. That is more of what you love. Zombies updates, game mode updates. I think we're getting a couple of old maps coming. That was pretty much it, right, Alex?
Yeah, nothing else. Nothing too crazy. Yeah.
Then PlayStation Indies came up. We saw Chicory, A Colorful Tale. That is a cool game where you kind of paint the world around you to solve puzzles and such. Soul and Sacrifice was also shown off, which is from the creators of Salt and Sanctuary. And then lastly, the highlight for me out of those PlayStation Indies, Solar Ash, the next game from Heart Machine, folks who made Hyper Light Drifter. That game is looking phenomenal. I can't wait to play it. Go check it out.
Super sci-fi, Shadow of the Colossus. Like, I'm totally in. Little worried we still don't have a release date. There's still time, but we'll see what that means.
2 Point Campus is the next big one for me, Alex. I know we talked about it on the live stream. You don't really have much history with that, with the 2 Point Studio games, which the only other game they made was 2 Point Hospital. So if you didn't play that, welcome. It is for people who aren't sure how to describe it or what even it is, you're managing a college campus, but it's all wacky. So there are like weird sports programs, you're doing magic lessons, you're doing, other university things, and it's all in a tycoon, management sim style. So if you're familiar with, The Sims or Roller Coaster Tycoon, any of those sorts of games, check out 2 Point Campus. I'm very excited. It's coming 2022 is when it was confirmed. I believe early 2022. But yeah, then up next, we got a look at the next Dark Pictures anthology game. Alex, we kind of talked about this. It's called House of Ashes, and you're kind of like exploring this cursed temple. It's kind of cool how they are like building out. I mean, they truly are building out an anthology. I said on a live stream, I can't wait for the day when they actually release this boxed collection of all of the Dark Pictures games. I think that'll be sick.
For sure.
You excited for this game at all?
Honestly, nothing they've done has made me super interested. But if you ever wanted to stream it together, we could play with our significant others too. We can find a time. Yeah,
I'd be down with that.
Time. Yeah.
Big one for me, Sky. This is a mobile game developed by That Game Company, creators of games like Flow, Journey. Sky it came out a couple of years ago on iOS and I think Android. It's coming to Switch on June 29th.
Soon.
Yeah, very soon. I'm going to be playing this one for sure. I waited on it. I bought it. I was like, you know what? This is obviously going to be coming to other things. Let me play it then. And I know Game Informer resident Blake Hester loved Sky. So, there's a glowing review for you, glowing recommendation.
There you go.
Mr. Blake Hester. Next one is a very cool one, Ghibli styled 2D adventure game. It's called Planet of Lana. What do you think about this one, Alex?
I instantly was like, oh, this is Ghibli meets Limbo / Inside, and I'm here for it. Especially the not even Ghibli, but the alien design was very abstract and bizarre, and I was totally into that. And there's a lot of weird creatures going on. I think we got 2022 for that one, so we'll see when we actually get it. But that was I always feel like in E3, there's always a handful of indies that blow me away and make me really excited. I guess blow me away is a little hyperbolic, but get me excited, right? And then I never hear from them again. I hope this isn't one, because the style and the 2D side-scrolling nature of it had me excited and wanting to know more.
Yeah, and in the trailer we kind of saw this quaint countryside. They're walking along, and then aliens crash land on Earth. And that's kind of the premise of Planet of Lana. Up next, we found out that Back 4 Blood is getting an open beta on August 5th. That's so soon. That's a month and a half away.
Let's go.
I am very excited. We're going to be playing so much of that. Totally going to stream it, I'm sure.
All day, baby. All day.
Very excited. Almost done. We got an update from Tunic. That game is coming along nicely with a demo coming at that ID at Xbox event this coming week. And then probably last thing, Evil Dead. The Evil Dead game that got announced, I think, like about a year ago. We finally got a good glimpse at gameplay. It is I would describe it as a PvE VP. So one team, you're playing co-op with your friends. You're, Left 4 Dead style, shooting zombies. And then they didn't say how many people. I wasn't sure if it's just one, but at least another player can play as the zombies and kind of take over and possess zombies and go after the survivors. Yeah, so kind of sounds similar to like a Left 4 Dead versus mode, sort of. It looks good. The executions in that game are brutal.
Oh my God,
we saw a man
one?
with the shovel. Yeah, I was like, jeez. But no, Evil Dead shaping up to be fun. I don't know if it's going to light the world on fire, but I'm eager to play it. It looks like a fun, weekend game. So
For
I
sure.
think that's all the big ones. We already talked about Elden Ring, of course, at the start of this video. So
The biggest one.
obviously the biggest one. Thank you everybody for joining us. Of course, stay tuned to GameInformer.com/E3, Twitch.tv/GameInformer, and here on YouTube at Game Informer. Of course, follow Alex at Studnik76 on the Twitters, and you can follow me at It's Van Aken. Let us know what your favorite game of the show was. And yeah, I think that's it for this video, and we will see you in the next one.